Hi and welcome to another episode of Baranov TV, designed to demystify the world of accounts and tax and to help your business grow. Now, as I'm recording this, we're just into the first week of February, and for us it's very much like the new year because January, it kind of carries on so closely behind December, and we've got all of the tax return deadline to consider and sort of that last minute rush. So the 1st of February for us very much seems to be the start of the new cycle of our year. And with that in mind, I wanted to talk about year-end reminders, because the majority of our clients and an awful lot of businesses are starting to get close to their next year-end because they're aligned with the financial year. So an awful lot of businesses have a year-end of the 31st of March. And with that in mind, we don't actually have that long now until we hit that date. But there are some things that you want to consider prior to the 31st of March that will make a difference to your profit figure or to your tax liability. And so now is the time really to be thinking about those things. So we write out to all of our clients and warn them around about now of the things that they need to be thinking about that could make a difference to them. But the first thing to really work out is what you will want your accounts to show. Now, we're not talking creative bookkeeping and creative accounting here. What we're talking is whether you think over the next 12 months you're going to want to apply for finance, look for an investor, potentially sell your business, or whether you just want to hang on to your cash and minimise your tax bill. Depending on which of those categories or others that you fall into will decide what you want to do between now and the end of March, or your year end, if you're not a March year end, all the things you want to do between now and then to make sure that you're geared up to make it as easy as possible to get the result that you want. So what am I considering? The things here are around things like pension. If you want to make an additional pension contribution, if the cash is in the business, if you want to make an additional pension contribution to your personal pension, you must do that before your year end. And that can't be a paper exercise. The actual cash has got to have moved. For purchases, consider bringing forward the purchase of any considerable investments. So things like fixed assets, they're going to be in the business for a long term. So we're talking land, buildings, machinery and equipment. These can utilise your annual investment allowance and reduce your tax liability. You also need to think about stock. If you carry stock, you need to do a stock take as at your year end so that you know exactly the value of your stock at that point. But also, before you get to that point, you really want to be thinking about whether your stock is actually obsolete or whether it's still saleable. If it isn't saleable, even at a reduced rate, you need to put a value on that and actually adjust for it too. If you want to get the highest possible profit figure, then you need to be thinking about your sales, obviously, and making sure that you're maximising those sales. So if you have any contracts or projects in the pipeline, really push between now and that date to complete those to maximise your sales figure that you'll be reflecting in the accounts. It sounds obvious, but you might want to defer any significant expenditure because you might want to make your cash position look as strong as possible between now and the end of March. It's not actually that long, as we've said before, so there may be things that you could hold off on spending on until after the 31st of March. Work in progress. If you have a long lead time on some of your projects and your contracts, you might want to think about either trying to get those completed or considering the timing of the work in progress, which is work completed but not yet invoiced. You may have some contracts that are coming up that you don't think will be finished, where the client would consider being invoiced on an ongoing basis and staged payments, etc. If you want to make your profit figure look as healthy as possible, then those are things that you could think about. It's never good to have debtors in a business, but really work hard between now and the end of March or your year end to reduce your debtors figure as far as you can. If you need any help with that, then do give us a shout. We can give you some ideas and help you through that process to improve your debtor figure, and to make sure that you've got the process within the business that routinely and automatically chips away at those. And a lot of it can be automated, because a better cash position obviously will make the business look healthier as at the year-end figures. There are real benefits to both us and to the client business for your accounts to be created and completed really promptly after your year end. Obviously for us, it enables us to diarise the work and to be able to crack on with that for you. But also it gives you the opportunity to identify areas of concern or opportunities as quickly as possible, so you can make a significant change within the business early on in the next financial year. You'll also know of any tax liability as early as possible, so you've got lots of time to put that money aside, rather than getting to the last minute and thinking, oh my goodness, how do I find this, which just creates another level of stress that no one really needs. We can also help you look at the figures that come out of the accounts to identify ways to improve the business, ways to improve your bookkeeping, all sorts of things that if we've got the time and the time to consider them properly, then we can really add some value to you, to the process. That's pretty much it. If you want to talk about anything that I've covered in more detail, I know it's just a quick whistle-stop tour, then please do get in touch. The accounts that we produce aren't just for statutory benefits. There are real benefits to year-end accounts, but you just need to be able to find them, and we can obviously make that easier for you. If you're unsure what angle you might want to take with your accounts, again, please do get in touch, and make sure that you let us know when we come to do the accounts whether you've got big plans coming up or whatever, and we can make sure that we take those into account too. That's pretty much it for this episode. So have a think about your year end. If you're not a March year end, then you might have longer to think about it. If you are a March year end and you're a client of ours, then we will be putting this information in our normal year end reminder letter anyway. So that's it from me. Have a great week, and I'll see you all very soon.